So we know that the demand for seafood is on the increase because people move from like red meat into poultry and from poultry into seafood, just especially marine finfish, just because of the health benefits associated with marine, mainly finfish. So the omega-3s and that are the other health benefits coming from marine fish. So the consumption of seafood is on the increase. The demand. The supplies are on a very severe decline. So there is an increasing gap between the demand and the supply of fisheries product, and this gap has to be filled by aquaculture.
It's a chain of events. I mean, you got population growth, and then you also have the more westernization of a lot of cultures, and along with that comes more middle class, and then the what people want with that is the sort of the trappings of middle and upper class, and that usually involves eating more protein. And so what you get is as there's more wealth in a lot of the developing countries, you get a switch over from traditional, more herbaceous diets to more protein-laden diets. And the question is, where's that protein going to come from? Well, the fish are an obvious part of a lot of these cultures' traditional food.
So right now aquaculture has been growing at a certain pace, and it produces about 50% of what of all our seafood consumption. And we need to be able to catch up with the increasing demand and the decreasing supplies. So right now I said aquaculture is growing at about a pace of about 6% annually. It needs to double that pace at least. Really, the fish are at the mercy of Mother Nature, so whatever the conditions are out there, you cannot do anything about it. So if you grow fish, and there is a lot of fish that are being grown in those floating net pens in the northeast of the United States or in Canada, so in the states of Maine, New Brunswick, Canada, a lot of salmon is being grown in net pens. The water is extremely cold, and during the winter the fish stop growing, the immune system is compromised, they get sick and so on. In our system, all the environmental parameters are completely controlled, so we can tailor everything, the temperature, the salinity of the water, the chemistry of the water, to meet the requirements of the fish of interest to enable optimal performances. So this is a big benefit of our system, and as a result, our system are completely generic. So while you are in Maine, you can only grow cold water fish, or you're in Florida, you can grow only warm water fish. Our system, we can again tailor all the conditions.
Particular population is a broodstock population. These are our parent fish, and what we're going to do with these fish is we're going to put them at a relatively low density, keep them under very good conditions, very healthy, clean water, good food supply, high quality food supply, and we're going to put them on a seasonal cycle so that they will reproduce in a predictable fashion. And the eggs, the fertilized eggs that come from this population, are what we're going to use as what we would call our seed stock or our supply fish that we would, grow from that fertilized egg to market size, and then we'll harvest them once they reach the market size of maybe a kilo.
System that performs very, optimally, much better than the floating net pens, and all these obviously are important from the economical standpoint. The economy dictates that this fish has a much better market, and would, the feasibility, the economic feasibility would look much better with this type of a species, a specific type of a species like the fish that we are working with downstairs. Then we can tailor the conditions to allow optimal performances. As a result, our conditions are allowing the fish to perform optimally.
To grow Mediterranean sea bream or European sea bass in a coastal net pen, it's going to take you about 14 months to get them to market size because your conditions aren't optimal. You have weather fluctuations, water temperature fluctuations. You're going through different daylights. You're seeing the seasons. If you're going to grow them in our recirculating tanks, it's going to take you probably 8.5 months to get to market size because we can have spring and summer all year round. We get the best growing conditions, like a greenhouse. We have the best growing conditions. And so we can keep the water warm, we can keep the days long for long growing days, daylight cycle.
Into the future, we'll see more and more our type of system used in the industry. Mm-hmm. So I think that in the future our type of technology will be growing in the future in terms of commercial aquaculture, and I think that we'll see the net pen aquaculture actually, hopefully, being used less and less. So I think that the industry is going to go more into the contained type of aquaculture that is completely biosecure and environmentally responsible, and we'll see less and less of the floating net pen technology.
Special people change. How many lives are living strange? Where were you while we were getting high? Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cat.